Research with me. Today we'll be looking into Operation Blackout, what it is and how it is connected to the 2020 election. So get ready to take a dive in and come research with me when you can't be asked. And today we're going to do a come research with me on Operation Blackout. This is going to be a 3 or 4 part series, hopefully, that will be about what was happening before the election and then how it's kind of turned out now and how it might have been planned. So get yourself ready because we are going on a deep dive into Operation Blackout. Okay, so Operation Blackout. Operation Blackout was a 2019 exercise simulating sabotage of civilian infrastructure, terrorism, and psychological operations against American citizens on the day of the US 2020 elections. The private US-based Israeli-founded company Cybereason organized it with members of the DHS, FBI, and the US Secret Service, and also the law firm Venable. Okay, so we're gonna look up what now this is a really good source. They've got no links to WikiLeaks or anything like that. They're just a standalone wiki about the deep state and the deep state actors and things like that. And you can get some really good information from here. It is a little biased, but otherwise it's a really good resource and I recommend going on there. That's how I found Operation Blackout. I went on the recent changes, I looked down and there was this Operation Blackout. I'm like, oh, what's this? And that's where I found it. So always take a little look because they do all countries and all people. No one is left untouched. I'll read this because right. So a PSYOP, a psychological operation PSYOP, is a unit of psychological warfare which takes a hostile stance to other people and tries to trick them. So BIT, which is a behavioural insight team, Dutch Safety Board, Office of Policy Coordination, Steve Utterstrom, John Rappaport, the 77th Brigade, which is interesting, James Tracy, and Truthstream Media, which I think is a right-wing is a British organisation that generates and applies behavioural insight, dream up psychological tricks to alter our behaviour. So, yeah. So that's something. I'll probably go into that a little more a little later, or maybe in another stream. Not stream, video, sorry, video. The Office of policy coordination was a United States covert psychological operations paramilitary action organization, and it was created in 1948 on the United States National Security Council document NSC 1002. The OPC's directors including so this was so it moved to the CIA. Okay. But you can find some neat stuff like this. And it's really interesting. So this is about the 77th Brigade, who are the
It's 18 hours.
UK's version is cooperating. Okay, that's interesting as well. I will do stuff about PsyOps, and this is just a website that tells you all about the deep state and what's been going on. And I'll put that away. But right now, we just want to look into this. So, false flag attacks are a classic example of PSYOP, which is, and we'll look into that because a false flag or false flag operation is designed to deceive about the perpetrators. They may be used as a stand-alone casus belli or part of a longer-term strategy of tension, such as happened the years of lead, during which Operation Gladio terrorized the Italian population. What does that word mean? I'm just having a little look. It's the Latin expression meaning the justification for acts of war. Okay. And I'll put this away like so. The battle for public opinion. In peacetime as well as war, the military apparatus often starts psychological operations to push public opinion in certain directions. Standard tactics include an intense media blitz by compliant media, often covertly coordinating with the government. The media is fed misleading interpretations or strongly biased selections of facts, for example, of opponents' intentions or actions. If necessary, the facts can be arranged, see false flag attacks, This is meant to lead the public to an inevitable conclusion, often creating enemy images. So you could actually put that towards what was happening with Trump, that they fed people false information about him. I mean, the whole sexist, racist, homophobe started in 2013 during Gamergate, and I'll probably do a video on that as well. And they just kept using that, and they had Trump, and they used it on him, and they used him as enemy images. So Trump ended up being like the guy in 1984 that they would have the 2 minutes of hate for. So yeah, superstitions. Okay. A 1950s paper from the Rand Corporation dealt with the superstitions, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, of common people evidenced in World War II, and the techniques used to exploit these beliefs for psychological warfare. Technology. In 1999, the Washington Post reported about the idea to project a holographic image of Allah floating over Baghdad, urging the Iraqi people and army to rise up against Saddam. The feasibility had been established of projecting large three-dimensional objects that appear to float in the sky. The Gulf War hologram story might be dismissed were it not the case that WashingtonPost.com has learned that a super secret program was established in 1994 to pursue the very technology for PSYOPs application. The holographic projector is described in a classified Air Force document as a system to project information power from space for special operations deception missions. And here's some examples. So, a gay girl in Damascus, a false media personality to create a mood in Western liberal opinion for regime change in Syria. The Easter Crisis, a Cold War psychological operation to create the mood for Danish NATO membership. Fourth flag, flat earth, mind control, stroke, child abuse, plausible deniability, QAnon, strategy of tension, the pedocracy, and Kong Song gun. Okay. And then we have some behavioral, very powerful PSYOPs came into play. The familiar slogan, "Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives," is familiar now to all of us. And that was the creation of the Behavioural Insights team in number 10 Downing Street. Remarkable psychology behind that. I think the team were even very surprised by how well we behaved. Ooh. And that's about the coronavirus. And then we have a document, psychological warfare for the West into doc and youth politics in 1960s. Psychological warfare has two sides: the build-up of moral strength within one's own side and the determining of the morale of the opposing side. And that was by Cees van den Heuvel. And I'm sorry if I read that name. And the first one, sorry, was by Carol Sikora. I'm probably messing up her name really badly. I am so sorry. Okay, mind control. The goal and end of mind control is to control and bondage the victim or survivor both during abuse and ritual and during normal life. And that was by the Ritualistic Abuse Consultancy, Sydney. Mind control. Basically, what we as therapists across the country are finding are a group of clients that formerly were considered untreatable, that based on recent information we're finding are reporting having been subjects in mind control experimentation performed by the government, the CIA and the military establishment, probably from about the late 1940s until middle 80s, and may even be going on today. And that was from Valerie Wolf in 1995. And then we have another quote. In late 2002, Defense Secretary Rumsfeld appointed General Jeffrey Miller to command Guantanamo with wide latitude for interrogation, making this prison an ad hoc behavioral laboratory, moving beyond the CIA's original attack on sensory receptors universal to all humans. Guantanamo's interrogators stiffened the psychological assault by exploring Arab cultural sensitivity to sexuality, gender identity, and fear of dogs. General Miller also formed behavioral science consultation teams of military psychologists who probed each detainee for individual phobias. And that was from Alfred McCoy. Okay, how many more? Because, there's only a couple more. This one's a little longer. So, mind control. The aims of concentration camp as an institution are to break the prisoners as individuals, to spread terror among the rest of the population, and to provide the Gestapo with a training ground and an experimental laboratory. The typical initial reactions are feeling of attachment. This can't be true. Things like this just don't happen. The first few weeks are the worst. Persons who manage to live through the transportation to camp and the first 3 months thereafter have a fair chance of surviving. If the torture becomes too intense, indifference takes the place of anxiety. Prisoners are particularly sensitive to punishment resembling those a parent might inflict upon a child. Prisoners rarely deal with situations of extreme torture, but instead with comparatively smaller maltreatment. Group formation, especially around a hero or martyr, is very effectively prohibited by means of group punishments. For only a short time do the new prisoners direct their hostility primarily against their real enemy. In many cases, it is soon turned against former friends or members of the family by whom the prisoners feel deserted. Old prisoners come to direct their hostility mostly against themselves. Gradually, a regression to infantile levels takes place, turning many prisoners into willing tools in the hands of the Gestapo. In the phase of final adjustment, the strangest phenomenon of all could be observed: the prisoners' identification with the guards. Certain prisoners even tried to imitate the guards' uniforms, become cruel to their fellow prisoners, partly accepted Nazi ideology. The author's conclusion is, what thus happens in an extreme fashion to the prisoners in concentration camps happens also in a somewhat less exaggerated form to the inhabitants of the great concentration camp called Greater Germany. And then we have another one here. Mind control is a system of influences which break the identity of an individual, his, her beliefs, behaviors, thoughts and feelings, and replace it with a new identity. And that was by Stephen Hassan in 1993. Oh, and I thought M. Groschan in 1945. And then it just goes back. So there's also these, which are very interesting. Lots of PDFs. And I'm all like, yay. I know, right? And then there's some, so this I'm actually, I'll go move that back. Okay. So I'm going to put these in a special tab thing. Well, I'm going to put them in here and then I'll put them in a special tab and we'll have those. Okay. So now we know what psychological operations into cyber reason, but first I really want to read this and then we'll look more into cyber reason. Cyber reason is led by ex-members of Israel's military intelligence unit 8200, best known for its cyber offences against other governments, and is advised by former top and current officials in both Israeli military intelligence and the CIA. In addition, it is funded by and partnered with top US weapons manufacturer and government contractor Lockheed Martin, and financial institutions with clear and direct ties to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and White House advisor and the president's son-in-law Jared Kushner. Cyber Reason's CEO Lior Div has openly admitted that he views his work at Cyber Reason as a continuation of his service to Israel's intelligence apparatus. The Israeli company Cyber Reason has discreetly become a major software provider to the US government and military through its direct partnership with Lockheed Martin, which followed the defense company's decision to open an office at the Israeli military's new cyber operation hub in the Negev Desert. Okay, so there's a lot to, and I hate this phrase, but I'm going to say there's a lot to unpack there. So first, we're going to have a look at Cyber Reason. I know they have a website. So we'll open the website. We'll have a little look about who we are. Okay. We are defenders. Cyber Reason is the champion for today's cyber defense with future-ready protection that extends from the endpoint to the enterprise to everywhere. What we do. We need to make this a little bigger. There we go. At Cyber Reason, we believe that as defenders, we are stronger as one. Together, we have the wisdom to uncover, correlate, and understand multiple threats. We deliver the position to end cyber attacks in an instant on computers, mobile devices, servers, and in the cloud, to everywhere the battle moves. Always by your side, we have brought the world's brightest minds from the military, government, intelligence, and enterprise security to create a new kind of cybersecurity company. One that delivers future-ready attack protection that ends cyber attacks on the endpoint, across the enterprise to everywhere the battle is being waged. Fucking hell. Bleep that out. Wow, they really bigging themselves up here, aren't they? We exist for one reason, to join forces with you to reverse the adversary advantage. Every day we strive to earn your trust and to be the first call you make, the first to join your fight, We are Cyber Reason. Okay. We are the defenders made for your mission. No other company understands the adversary better than we do. We champion the defender because we are defenders. We recognize that most attackers are trained in military and government intel, so at Cyber Reason, we fight fire with fire. Our team brings together the world's best minds from the military, government, intelligence, and enterprise security. When we join forces with you, we reverse the adversary advantage and take the upper hand. Are you a superhero? Okay. We are future ready, built to win every fight. From the endpoint to the enterprise to everything, attackers are coming for it all. The only way to protect your tomorrow is to take full control of your endpoints today. This is why we are laser focused on delivering future ready attack protection that prepares you to outthink, outpace, and end even the most sophisticated attack on the endpoint and beyond. Oh wow, okay. We end malicious operations. You stop chasing alerts. As defenders, our battle will never be won by chasing alerts. Instead, we must be able to identify, pinpoint, and respond to the malicious operations, malops, with unquestionable precision. While every other security solution is alert-centric, Cyber Reason is operation-centric. We empower defenders to instantly visualize malop from root cause to every affected point with real-time multi-stage display of all attack details. This gives you the power to end attacks with a single click. Okay. I'm just going to take a drop of drink and then we'll read some more. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Why Cyber Reason? Dedicated to defenders. We know that every day you have everything on the line, and that with so much at risk, and I'm going to make this bigger.
It's 21 hours.
It can seem like adversaries have all the advantages. Together, we can take the power back. Where other cybersecurity providers see a vendor and a customer, we see a united team of defenders who are stronger as one. Every day, we will earn the right to be the first call you make and the first of your fight. Future ready protection. They seem to just repeat the same thing over and over again, which just, yeah. Our platform enables defenders to end even the most sophisticated attacks on the endpoint and far beyond it. This is critical because attackers are ultimately coming for the entire enterprise and everything else in our connected world. Our future-ready attack protection safeguards you across remote devices, on-premises assets, and cloud deployments, so you can end cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere. Operations-centric, not alert-centric. While traditional solutions are alert-centric, Cyber Reason is operation-centric, enabling defenders to end entire malicious operations, malop. With Cyber Reason, you can instantly visualize malop from root cause to every affected endpoint with real-time, multi-stage display of all attack details. This gives you, your analysts, the power to immediately understand, pinpoint, and end attacks with a single click. With Cyber Reason, you don't just stop the breach, you end it before it starts. Okay. Leverages intelligence, doesn't limit it. If you compromise your data, you will be compromised. Unlike traditional solutions that limit event intelligence, we ensure all your relevant data is collected, processed, analyzed in real time, and is accessible for all time. Our big data engine is at the forefront of data processing technology, analyzing 9.8 petabytes of data every week, outperforming every other cyber solution on the market. Oh wow, that's massive. Ends attacks automatically, not manually. Cybereason's autonomous remediation reduces mean time to remediate from an industry average of several days down to minutes. Traditional solutions require manual analyst intervention for nearly every task, increasing the likelihood of manual errors and severely limiting your team's scalability. With Cybereason, a single analyst can scale to defend as many as 200,000 enterprise points. Attackers automate. Now defenders can too. And it just tells you, so 9.8 petabytes. Cybereason analyzes 9.8 PB of threat intelligence weekly to reveal the full attack story from root cause across every affected endpoint and user. More efficient. 93% more efficient. Cybereason reduces investigation periods by as much as 93%, so defenders can eliminate emerging threats in a matter of minutes rather than days. And then they have a report there. Endpoints per analyst. 2,000k endpoints per analyst. Cybereason provides vastly increased efficiency through a 1 in 200,000 analyst to endpoint ratio and automated or guided single-click remediations. Okay. And then that's asking, do you want to submitted by peers, vetted by Gartner. Cybereason instantly delivers fully contextualized and correlated insight into attacks designed to evade traditional defenses, reducing investigation and remediation intervals from days to minutes. But you don't have to just take our word for it. Referrals by peers are the gold standard for qualifying security solutions, and Gartner peer insights are the industry's most trusted source for independent, unbiased performance reviews. Okay. So let's see. If they all sound the same, then I bet you any money that they are. Okay, so they've got 56%, 5-star, 4-star 39%, 3-star 6%, and then evaluating and contracting 4.4, 4.4, 4.2, 4.3. Okay. So this was in June. Okay, and this is the helpful variable. Okay, overall great EDR, and would highly recommend to secure your enterprise. I love this platform. I think there is a lot of detailed insight that they provide, and their Nest website offers free training to grab a better understanding of how to utilize Cybereason. I feel like the technical support aspect could use a little work, for instance. Alright, so they're not good at the people part, but they're good at the kind of technical part. And then CR, average score with room for improvement. The engagement with Cybereason started well with commitment. However, this slowed down. This product has helped with visibility. Okay. So detection. Okay, I'm not going to read all these reviews, but yeah. It does say download a PDF. This PDF is when important comparisons, la-di-da-di-da. United Kingdom. I don't have a business address. Okay. I'm just going to put that away. There we go. Explore our third-party accolades that validate our role in supporting defenders. It's just industry recognition. Whether it's riding the top of a wave, creating major ripples in a quadrant, or simply returning constantly dominant efficiency testing scores, one thing has become clear. Cybereason has the technology and solution to meet even the most demanding endpoint security ends. And here they've got all their reports and stuff. And more on that, and then just goes back to that. Motorola Mobility and Cerner Corporation. Okay, so active campaigns, SoftBank, Motorola, Korean Air. Okay. Oh, okay. Leadership. Cybereason has brought the world's best minds from the military, government intelligence, and enterprise security together to create a new kind of cyber. I think we've read this already. So you've got Lier Div, he's the co-founder. Let's have a look into him. So he's the co-founder at Cybereason, Cambridge, Massachusetts, United States. He was at the Academic College of Tel Aviv. They come up with Cybereason in 2012. Security, helping organizations fight. Announced the Medal of Honor recipient for outstanding achievements as a commander and leader of an elite cybersecurity unit, specializing in forensics, hacking, reverse engineering, and encryption. Prior to Cybereason, founded and led a cybersecurity company that provided high-quality tailor-made services. Okay. So this is cyber reason, and then CEO and co-founder of Alpha Tech, and he was in development group leader from 2000 for Amdocs. What's that? OP AM and then Docs. AM Docs. Amdocs, Digital Network Transformation Communications. Okay. So, automate your network and service operations. So, is that what you do? Okay. Do you not have like who we are? About here we are. Shaping the communications and media industries. Amdocs is driving our increasingly connected digital society forward by utilizing the creativity of our 26,000 employees and the power of our innovative, award-winning technology. With almost 40 years of unparalleled industry expertise, is a trusted partner to the world's leading communication and media companies, serving more than 350 service providers in over 80 countries, clouds, and okay, so they're just okay. Current headquarters in Chesterfield, Missouri, with support and development centers located worldwide. The company specializes in software and services for communications, media and financial services providers, and digital enterprises. Okay. I don't really want to know about money, I just want to know about the people, really. Okay. So I'm going to put these away because this is going to confuse me. Alpha Tech. Alpha Tech. Full service S&K engineers of Monrovia, California joins Alpha Tech, and Alpha Tech opens doors in San Diego. Okay. So I started in 1987. Okay. And these are all the people. Oh wow, they have a lot of people. If you guys would like me to go really further into these companies, because I'm really just going not surface level deep, but a little deeper than I usually would, just because I don't want this video to be like 8 hours long, really, because it would end up being 8 hours long, and then you guys would be bored to death hearing my voice reading and going deep. So okay, that's just a place where you can get networking stuff. Okay. But if you would like a much deeper look into things, please just put it down in the comments and I'll read it, and then we can do a deeper one. And he was a software engineer. So he was a development group leader for that. What is a development group leader when it's at home? It's just very kind of like, I'm just going to put my mic down, but I will be back in a minute. Hopefully you can hear. Development group leader. That was the one. Okay. Okay, so he was a okay, so I'm going to put this in as well. Skills. So mobile devices, entrepreneurship, mobile applications, software design, project management, telecommunications, go-to-market strategy, penetration testing, pre-sales, systems architecture, cloud computing, object-oriented design, cybersecurity, computer forensics, software project management, professional services, web services, design patterns, He can use, XML, Java, C++, JavaScript. I have no idea what that one is. I'm actually going to have to search for what that means. Software as a service. Okay. Leadership. Okay. He's got Honor Award, Head of Intelligence Corps Medal of Honor from the IDF. Okay. So he knows quite a lot about computers. Okay. Let's see. So, see. Go away. Why is it? This is so annoying. Okay. So reason Div also served in the Israeli Defense Forces, while in the IDF. Div was part of the Israeli Intelligence Corps, where he led an elite cybersecurity team in the Corps 8, and he got a Medal of Honor. Okay, let's have a look. So, Israeli Intelligence Corps unit of the Israel Defense Forces responsible for collecting signal intelligence, SIGINT, and code decryption. Military publications include references to Unit 8200 as the central collection unit of the Intelligence Corps and is sometimes referred to as Israeli SIGINT National Unit. It is subordinate to Amman, the Military Intelligence Directorate. The unit is composed primarily of 18 to 21-year-olds. As a result of the youth of the soldiers in the unit and the shortness of their service period, the unit relies on selecting recruits with the ability for rapid adaptation and speedy learning. After-school programs for 16 to 18-year-olds teaching computer coding and hacking skills also serves as a feeder program for the unit. Former Unit 8,200 soldiers have, after completing their military service, gone on to founding and occupying top positions in many international IT companies and in Silicon Valley. According to the Director of Military Sciences at the Royal United Service Institution, Unit 8200 is probably the foremost technical intelligence agency in the world and stands on a par with the NSA in everything except scale. So it was started in 1952. Originally it was called the 2nd Intelligence Service Unit, and then the 515th Intelligence Service Unit. In 1954, the unit moved from Jaffa to its current base at the Gilut Junction. According to Peter Roberts, the Director of Military Sciences at the Royal United Services Institute, Unit 8200 is probably the foremost technical intelligence agency in the world. You already heard that. They are highly focused on what they look at, certainly more focused than the NSA, and they conduct their operations with a degree of tenacity and passion that you don't experience anywhere elsewhere. Subordinate to unit for collecting open source intelligence. And actually, I'm going to open that. Monitor its more important intelligence gathering installation is the Iram Signet Base, a part of Unit 8200. Urim is located in the Negev Desert, approximately 30 kilometers from Bishopit. Sorry if I'm really. Let's see if the speech can say it better than me. Beersheba. Thank you, Talkie Man. In March 2004, the Commission to investigate the intelligence network following the war in Iraq recommended turning the unit into a civilian national signet agency, as is in other Western countries, but this proposal was not implemented. They have, and that basically, oh wow, so they've been tracking ships, booked that a Hezbollah bomb disguised as a cell phone was picked up by agents and taken for investigation to Unit 8200's headquarters in February 1999. In the laboratory, the cell exploded. And United States intelligence community alleging that this unit used a secret kill switch to deactivate Syrian air defenses during Operation Orchid. Operation Outside the Box. Okay. It was an Israeli airstrike on a suspected nuclear reactor. Okay. In 2014, veterans of unit signed a protest letter decrying what they called the electronic surveillance unit's abusive gathering of Palestinian private information. According to New York Times, the Unit 82,000's hack of the Kaspersky lab allowed them to watch in real time as Russian government hackers searched computers around the world for an American intelligence program. Okay. Stuxnet, computer worm. In 2010, infected industrial computers, including Iranian nuclear facilities. Duku was computer malware discovered on the 1st of September 2011. It is alleged to be creation of the 82. And then that's when they went in. Okay. And these are the companies that they are. So, Adalum, Altnext, Argus Cybersecurity, Armis, Audio Codes, Axis Security, BioCatch, Bizzo, CardScan, Checkpoint, Cloud Endure, Cloudinary, Crosswise, CTERA Networks, CTS Labs, CyberArk. Oh, CyberArk. We actually used information from their website. Okay. Cybereason, EasyChip, FST Biometrics, Gilat, Hunters AI, Hyperwise Security, ICQ, Impervia, I recognize that name, Encapsula, Indenni, Infinidat, IVIX, Lacoon Mobile Security, Lead Space, Level Technologies, Namagu, Nice, NSO Group, Onava, Vo, Opstar, OverOps, Paleo Auto Networks, Perimeter X, PrimeSense, Radware, Roche Intelligent Systems, Salt Security, Secdo, Silverfort, Fiber, Votrio, Waze, Wix, XIV, Jonathan Labs, and Zoom Info. Oh wow, okay. I think this one needs this needs more investigation in its own video series. And probably gonna be about 20 hours long. So, yeah. Knowing me, it will be, or it'll be like 10 weeks long, I don't know. I'm just saying it will probably be long and arduous, and I hope that you guys will come with me down that journey. So I'm going to have a quick look at this, and then we're going to go back. And if you give me that subscribe, I'm going to hit you. Well, I'm not going to hit it. I'm not going to hit the computer, but I'm not going to be happy. This was in July 2015. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, that's quite a long article. Read this article by FT Magazine. I know I was trying to stay neutralist, but we might as well because it's got quite a bit in it. So Unit 8200, Israel's cyber spy agency. Former insiders and whistleblowers provide a view of the formidable military intelligence outfit. The new advanced technology cyberpark being built in the Negev desert city of Beersheba, and this was written in 2015. I'm going to make this slightly bigger. There we go. Sorry if that's like a big wall of text there. It's easier for my eyes to see. Okay. In a searingly hot afternoon at a campus-like new science park in Beersheba, southern Israel, I watched as a group of bright, geeky teenagers presented their graduation projects. Parents and uniformed army personnel milled around a windowless room packed with tables holding laptops, phones and other gadgets. There was excited chatter and a pungent smell of adolescent sweat. This was a recent graduation ceremony for Megshimon, which roughly translates as fulfillment. The 3-year after-school program for 16 to 18-year-old students with exceptional computer coding and hacking skills. Megshimon serves as a feeder system for potential recruits to Unit 8200, the Israeli military legendary high-tech spy agency considered by intelligence analysts, sorry about that, my mouth couldn't get around that word for some reason, to be one of the most formidable of its kind in the world. Unit 8200, or Shron Matayim. Actually, let's put Mr. Speaker on that.
Shron Matayim.
Shron Matayim is, as it's called in Hebrew, it is the equivalent of America's National Security Agency and the largest single military unit in the Israel Defense Forces. It is also an elite institution whose graduates, after leaving service, can parlay their cutting-edge snooping and hacking skills into jobs in Israel, Silicon Valley, or Boston's high-tech corridor. The author of Startup Nation, the seminal 2009 book about Israel's startup culture, described 8200 and the Israeli military's other elite units as the nation's equivalent of Harvard, Princeton and Yale. With a female IDF minder at my side, I listened as the teenagers described their projects. More than half were boys, but there were girls too, and 8200 is open to both. Amir, 19, had designed a USB key that can suck information out of one computer and organize it on another, essentially a hacking tool. We made it appear like a keyboard so you can infiltrate any company in the world, he told me. It's a proof of concept. Two 17-year-old boys, both named Lior, I think that's how we say it. I'll put Mr. Speaker on it again.
Lior.
The IDF asked me not to use the students' last names, had built a cell phone from scratch and programmed it to make and receive calls until it had exploded in a power surge. The project didn't work as planned, one of the pair explained. Magsharin itself is difficult to get into. Funded by the Israeli state and the Rashi Foundation. Okay. I just want a little overview of it. The Rashi Foundation is I'm going to need to make it bigger. Here we are. It's an independent private philanthropic foundation dedicated to assisting the underprivileged in Israel, particularly children and youth. We focus on the geographic and social periphery and on education and welfare solutions that create opportunities and advance social mobility. The foundation was established by Gustave Levin, 1914 to 2008, a French Jewish businessman who came from a family strongly ingrained in philanthropic tradition and culture, and whose experience during World War II was a key factor in his focusing on Israel. We have been working since 1984 to realize Gustave's vision of a stable and prosperous Israel that draws its strength from a society in which every individual has an equal opportunity to realize he or her full potential. Okay. After starting out as a typical grant-making foundation, Rashi has gradually evolved into a social entrepreneur that identifies needs and responds by initiating and building I'm gonna have to, because my mouth just can't go around these words today.
Innovative
education and welfare solutions. In the next stage, we developed our unique form of venture philanthropy further by going into direct operation of programs through affiliate associations and by creating an extensive network of partnerships with other philanthropies, as well as with government agencies. The approach allowed us to increase greatly the scope of our work while remaining highly attuned to the field and responsive to its needs. In 2012, the Rashi Foundation was the first organization to receive the Presidential Medal of Distinction from its contributions to Israeli society. Okay, so it's a grant. Okay. I mean, I could go further into that. about people. Oh, these are okay. So I probably can't actually see them because there are the premium probably, but okay. If you'd like me to look further into that, just pop a comment in the comments section and I'll have a little look about. So let's try and get my mouth around this again. Okay. A private outfit devoted to helping underprivileged youth. It targets gifted children in Israel's poorer south and north. Applicants are admitted only after an online questionnaire followed by a battery of more rigorous tests to gauge their abilities in programming, language and thinking outside the box. Another program that I definitely need to use the speech on, Vahim or Heights, targets children in central Israel where wealth and opportunity are greater. Of the 1,400 children who applied last year, about 500 got in. More than 2,000 have applied this year. School can be boring for these kids. Some fail, Yuri Roten, one of the instructors told me, but they can do their best here, so they love it. He looks like Prince Harry, doesn't he, with more hair. And there's the bloke himself, the instructor. Sorry about my computer there. Mashirim is not an automatic entry ticket to Unit 8200, but many of its students do their compulsory military service there. 3 years for Israeli boys, 2 years for girls. Most realize that in gaining entry to Mashirim, they are stepping on the fast track. There were rumours, but they never told us it had anything to do with 8200. Tal, a tall and earnest 18-year-old boy from Matir, a small city of 10,000 north of Beersheba, told me. They said at the end of the 11th grade, you will get invitations to interviews in certain places in the IDF. If there is a beating heart to Israel's high-tech security state, the spot on the Venn diagram where cool meets creepy, it is Unit 8200. In few other countries does the military establishment mingle so closely with academia and business. To all three sectors profit. Last year, Israel's export of cybersecurity products designed to protect companies, banks and governments from the growing dark web of hackers, fraudsters and snoopers topped 6 billion, exceeding Israeli exports of military hardware for the first time. Today, Israel, with just 8 million people, captures about 10% of the global cybersecurity market, which is growing rapidly after high-profile hacks that in some cases, such as at Target and Sony last year, have cost CEOs their jobs. Israel, with its vibrant startup company culture, is already one of the world's choicest targets for venture capital money. A few miles from where I attended the graduation ceremony, a new advanced technology park is rising from the sandy soil of the Negev desert. It aims to cement those links and draw in investors from the wider world who want to benefit from Israel's cyber expertise. The project combines an office park whose tenants include, I know that says telecom, Deutsche Telekom, IBM, Oracle, Lockheed Martin, and that was mentioned in the article that we saw on Wikispooks, EMC and PayPal, with Beersheva Ben Gurion University and its Cybersecurity Research Center. By the end of the decade, Unit 8200 and the IDF's other intelligence and technology units will have moved there too. But what does it say about a country that handpicks its best and brightest children and channels them into a spying unit? In some ways, 8200 is Israel at its best and worst, a high-tech incubator that trains some of Israel's smartest young people, but effectively excludes minority Arabs, 20% of Israel's population, because so few do military service, which is compulsory for Jewish Israelis. And there's that boy Tal. Unit 8200 also snoops on Palestinians living under Israeli occupation in the West Bank or naval and air blockade in the Gaza Strip, according to a whistleblower blowing leak that created a stir last year. In an open letter in September 2014, published by Israel's Yudarif Afronoff, we'll put speech to that. We will speech to that. There we go. Newspaper and broadcast on Channel 10, a group of 43 serving and former 8200 reservists revealed that they said were cohesive spying tactics being used on innocent Palestinians, including the collection of embarrassing sexual, financial, or other information. One of the whistleblowers, in a statement released along with the letter, described his moment of shock when watching The Lives of Others, the 2006 film about the Stasi's pervasive spying in East Germany. The Fafur has claimed since then, but I wanted to find out more about 8200. Officers in the unit are not allowed to discuss their service, even with relatives, and are limited, as I discovered, in what they can say after they leave it. I was, however, allowed to interview the Mishimin graduates. When I asked Tal what he wanted to do after military service, he answered somewhat overeagerly, as if I were interviewing him for a job, I would like to form my own company or join an existing company with an important role. Though forbidden from discussing it, many 8200 veterans are happy to drop the unit's number freely in the corporate world as an elite calling card. It is fair to describe Shalom Matyom as one of Israel's most powerful business brands. Gil Shroud, co-founder of Checkpoint, Israel's largest cybersecurity company, was in 8200, as was Avi Hassan, Israel's chief scientist, whose office dispenses risk-free government loans to technology startups. The 8200 Alumni Association, with more than 15,000 members, hosts networking events and community outreach programs, including a startup accelerator open to Arabs and ultra-Orthodox Jews, most of whom do not serve in the army. Team a self-described cybersecurity foundry aimed at providing know-how for startups, was launched by former 8200 officers in Tel Aviv earlier this year, attracting Google's Eric Schmidt as an investor. Isaac Herzog, sorry if I'm butchering the name, head of the centre-left Zionist Union Party, played up his past service in 8200 when campaigning to unseat Binyamin Netanyahu. Okay, I just wanna, because I'm butchering the names and I don't want to be rude.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, I was right, okay. But what does 8200 actually do? Israel, as Netanyahu never tires of saying, lives in a bad neighborhood in the Middle East, surrounded by several countries it classifies as enemy states. This requires world-class hacking and artificial intelligence tools as warfare moves from conventional battlefields, land, sea and air, to include cyber terrain. This new theatre of operations needs both offensive and defensive tools. According to some media reports, which the IDF won't confirm, the unit was responsible for the Stuxnet computer worm. Stuxnet is a malicious computer worm first uncovered in 2010, thought to have been in development since at least 2005. Stuxnet targets supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA systems, and is believed to be responsible for causing substantial damage to the nuclear program of Iran. Okay. Although neither country has openly admitted responsibility, the worm is widely understood to be a cyber weapon built jointly by the United States and Israel in a collaborative effort known as the Olympic Games. Operation Olympic Games was a covert and still unacknowledged campaign of sabotage by means of cyber disruption directed at Iranian nuclear facilities by the United States and likely Israel. As reported, it is one of the first known uses of offensive cyber weapons. Started under the administration of George W. Bush in 2006, Olympic Games was accelerated under President Obama, who heeded Bush's advice to continue cyber attacks on the Iranian nuclear facility at Natanz. Bush believed that the strategy was the only way to prevent an Israeli conventional strike on Iranian nuclear facilities. Ooh, okay. I might have to do a video about this. This is quite interesting. I'll put that away. And I'll have to do a little about this as well. Okay. I needed a quick search there, because I don't want to make this video even longer than it is. It's already an hour. Deployed in 2010 against Iran's computers, including one of its nuclear facilities. Alongside countries such as Iran, which itself has a formidable cyber capability, various non-state hackers also have Israel in their sights. Over the past 3 years, pro-Palestinian hacktivist group under the Op Israel banner, #OpIsraelBanner, have targeted Israeli government websites and public institutions' computer systems. The 2013 attack fell on the eve of Holocaust Remembrance Day, and in that and subsequent attacks, some of the hackers have threatened to unleash an electronic holocaust. According to intelligence analysts, 8200's remit is similar to that of the NSA, or Britain's government communication headquarters, covering everything from analysis of information in the public domain to use of human operators and special signals intelligence. Its geographical remit is primarily outside Israel, but it does include the Palestinian territories. Unit 8200 is probably the foremost technical intelligence agency in the world and stands on a par with the NSA in everything except scale. Peter Roberts, Senior Research Fellow at Britain's Royal United Services Institute, told me. They are highly focused on what they look at, certainly more focused than the NSA, and they conduct their operations with a degree of tenacity and passion that you don't experience elsewhere. Apart from 8200, the IDF also has other technological and spying units with their own cadres of alumni in business. A large Air Force intelligence unit, C4I, its telecommunications, computer and information technology unit, and smaller intelligence units so secret that Israelis will not utter their names. And last month, the Israeli military announced it would be forming a new cyber command to combat new challenges in online warfare. The culture of Unit 8200 resembles that of a startup, according to former officers. Soldiers work in small groups with limited resources to crack challenges that literally, in some cases, are life and death matters. Disruptive behavior and challenges to authority are encouraged, even if this means defying senior officers. In intelligence, you can't work only by rules. You need to be open-minded, said Rami Efrati, a former 8200 senior officer and serial entrepreneur who is on his third startup, Fermitas Cyber Solutions. We teach them how to work out of the box. And that's someone else. Okay. Nir Limpert, chairman of the Unit 8200 Alumni Association and CEO of MER Group, a mobile communications infrastructure company, said, "I think the best premise I took with me from this unit was the ability to manage big activities in uncertain situations with a lot of question marks regarding the environment and the understanding that we must fulfill the mission." Okay. And MER actually sounds familiar from the what we read from that guy. I've forgotten his name, so we're gonna find the name. Sorry, it's in all my fan fictions I read. It'll be in here. It's when we were looking at cyber reason, wasn't it? I remember now. The guy from that. Okay. I will go through these and put everything in a PDF so down below, so don't worry. A growing focus in 8200, as in other spy agencies, is data mining and specifically the ability to shift through mountains of information to find the one menacing email or the recurring pattern that suggests something is awry. To get a clearer idea of the tools the unit uses in its work, one afternoon I went to Tel Aviv University to meet Oded Maimon, sorry for butchering the name, one of the world's foremost experts on data mining and artificial intelligence. Teaching computers do not just what they have been told, but to predict things that haven't happened yet. Maimon has written 10 books and edited a 1,500 page tome called the Data Mining and Knowledge Discovery Handbook. Like other Israeli mathematics professors, he has worked for both the intelligence service and the private sector in the past. He advised Verent, an Israeli-founded video and audio monitoring company now based in Melville, New York. In 2008, he was awarded a medal by Mossad for services to the nation. He rarely gives interviews, but he invited me to his office. Okay. How much more have we got? Wow. We have a lot more to read. Okay. The first step in Israeli intelligence work, he told me, was to obtain raw information. This I won't talk about, he said, but went on to acknowledge that 8200 is very important here. Once intelligence is gathered and organized into a database, an analyst needs to look for a common denominator. This is what big data experts call fusion, the ability to make sense of, for example, an object spotted from different angles by different means, maybe a drone in the air, a camera on the ground, or a listening device in a phone. Humans do this naturally, using their five senses and grasp of context, but computers have to be taught. One intelligence source might have identified somebody talking in a car on a phone, while another using a camera on a plane identifies the same car. You create a knowledge base, Maimon said. You now know not only that a person is in a vehicle, but you have the information that his phone is interesting to you. So I'm not going to read all this, but it's just telling you what they look for, the data compressing, someone being very concerned about Unit 8200. But this was a very interesting article. So I will add this into our research PDF in my filing cabinet, and I hope this was kind of useful and you enjoyed the video and you were following along. I'll be back for part 2, where we'll be looking at the other we'll probably be looking at the other keywords that are on them. So if you do want to start, we will probably be going into the DHS, FBI and United States Secret Service and finding out what kind of simulate, not who they are, but the departments where they do the tabletop simulations. So I hope that you come and I hope that you come and join me in the next video, and I'll speak to you then.